One of Netflix's biggest series getting a stage adaptation prequel, the first week numbers are in for Indy 5, and Zack Snyder talked about his pitch for a Star Wars film to Lucasfilm. All this and more coming up on the weekly slate. Just as the Back to the Future musical premieres on Broadway, a new stage play inspired by the 1980s has been announced for London's West End. However, rather than being based on something from the 80s, it's based on the 80s-inspired Netflix hit series Stranger Things. The play, Stranger Things: The First Shadow, is a prequel to the series, but it may hold the key to what will happen in Season 5. A trailer for the play was released this past Wednesday with the caption, "The beginning of a Stranger Things story might hold the key to what comes next." It takes place in 1959 when a young Henry Creel, who later becomes Vecna, first moves into the town of Hawkins with his family. It is written by Kate Treffry, a writer and co-executive producer on the Netflix show, and is set to premiere on London's West End on November 28th of this year. Spawn hasn't hit the silver screen since 1997, but it's looking like 2025 could be the year the Hellspawn makes his triumphant movie return. Jason Blum of Blumhouse will be producing the film along with Spawn's creator Todd McFarlane, with Jamie Foxx set to play the titular character. Blum had this to say regarding the film and its potential 2025 release date. "I would say you have a lot to hope for because it's in very, very active development. What needs to happen is that my fellow friends, the writers, and the studios need to figure out their differences and get back to writing. But we've got a great group of folks putting it together. My prediction is maybe we'll actually see a Spawn movie in 25. No promises, but that's my prediction." The film is said to be written by Joker writer Scott Silver, Captain America New World Order writer Malcolm Spellman, and newcomer Matt Mixon. As Blum mentioned, the ongoing writer's strike is slowing down that portion of production for a moment. But hopefully, once a deal is reached, it will be full steam ahead on what looks to be an interesting film. Sonic fans got a real treat this 4th of July. Ahead of its July 13th premiere on Netflix, the first episode of Season 2 of Sonic Prime dropped on Netflix YouTube channel, giving fans a sneak peek of what this season has in store for the Blue Blur. This episode prominently features Shadow the Hedgehog, as he fights against Sonic, trying to steal his tech and save the reality that Sonic broke. Fans' reactions were mostly positive, especially to Shadow's more mature characterization, how he acts as a foil to Sonic's more reckless nature. The animation was also praised as well, with the lighting being noted especially. Furthermore, the vocal performances from Devin Mack as Sonic and Ian Hanlon as Shadow were especially praised, with some calling Hanlon's Shadow the best the character has sounded in years. The rest of his season speeds onto Netflix on July 13th. Indiana Jones of the Dial of Destiny is the 5th film of the Indiana Jones saga. However, while the movie itself has gotten pretty overall positive reviews, it too has not been immune from the box office blues of the summer. So far, the movie is set to make only $60 million, which sadly is not much for a film that cost almost $300 million and will need to make $800 million total just to break even. It's a sad state of the film industry in general, as more and more movies seem to have bigger budgets and not making a lot of profit. Hopefully, word of mouth will give Indy 5 some legs, for it certainly is a film worth seeing. Zack Snyder, the man famous or infamous, depending on who you ask, for the early stages of the DCEU, has returned to the silver screen once again with his own original movie. Rebel Moon was originally supposed to be a Star Wars film, or at least a basic pitch for a Star Wars movie that Snyder took to Lucasfilm, but the studio declined to. The film itself was based on the traditional film The Seven Samurai, which in itself was an influence on Star Wars during its initial years. It would seem that Snyder is not going to let his idea go to waste, and in the traditional creative spirit, make his own series with original setting and characters. The series will be coming to Netflix as an original feature film. Remember to like and subscribe to stay up to date with Culture Slate content. You can also join our public Discord where we discuss Star Wars, Marvel, and all things pop culture. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in every week to stay cultured with the Weekly Slate.